So Steuben walks in. I imagine the meme Childish Gambino walks in with like a pizza, and then like the whole room that he walks into is on fire.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yes.
That's what I imagine. He walks in and he's like, oh my God, I just went from one of the greatest armies in the world to this.
Yeah, whatever this is.
Whatever
this
is. Oh my God. Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two best friends tell you an awesome story about a cool person from history.
Yay!
I'm Morgan, and I am joined by my best friend and co-host, Emileigh.
Hello.
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 We both just like sleepily stare at each other. Like, all right, now what?
I was gonna say, how do we podcast again? We're new.
It's our first day.
Yes,
we're both
not
feeling
164.
it. Yes.
Upon listening to this recording, I will be on a floating house.
Fun.
Yes. Hopefully scuba diving at some point.
Yay.
Go down to the depths.
I'm so excited for you.
Yay.
We're
really just going to take the boat out, but like there's a body of water, so
might as well use your new scuba diving license.
Yeah. Exactly.
I will finally be done with work, so I'll finally be able to start just like chilling like a villain for my summer vacation.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I was wondering if you had to work the whole summer or just like the first half.
Yeah, just really June. It really falls off in July. We were actually surprised we had work that kept going this long because it was pretty easy and chill this summer.
I love that. I love easy and chill. The girl child is still, by the time you're hearing this, summer school will be out, but she is none too plussed about it. Because we have to wake up at like 5 a.m. to get her on the bus.
Yeah.
So I think she's gonna buckle down next year to not have to do this again.
It'll be like, all right, remember how you had to go to summer school? But you don't want to do that again. You should really focus this year.
She came off the bus crying this afternoon because she fell asleep on the bus and her friends woke her up in a not aggressive way, but a very high energy way. And she was mad about it.
Oh, bless.
She's tired.
Oh, it's hard being 7.
It is hard being 7. Like, she was crying so hard, the bus driver called me to make sure she was okay.
Oh, bless.
I know, I felt so bad.
Oh, she was so tired. Oh.
She's not, she is like her mama. Do not wake her up.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Let sleeping beasts lie.
I normally like slide her off the bed and into my arms until she wakes up, and then I just kind of place her on the floor and let her walk away. Like, don't make eye contact.
She's too young for coffee, but she needs her coffee.
She does like to stick her finger in my cold foam, though. So I have a feeling she's going to be a coffee connoisseur as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any news?
No.
No. We're both so tired.
We're so tired. And we got a whole episode, which I am excited about our episode. We got a cool person we're going to be talking about today.
I have no inkling as to who we're talking about, so I'm also excited.
So I had the unique challenge because we're still covering Pride Month.
Yes. Because
we missed the first couple weeks in June. And this episode today airing, I don't know why I said it like that. It's airing on the 2nd. So it's almost America's 250th birthday. We're 2 days out. And I was thinking, okay, how do I incorporate Pride Month with America's 250th birthday? And I got the guy that we're going to be talking about today.
This is such an interesting situation, and I'm living for it.
Well, and you've definitely heard of this guy.
Gay 250 birthday, happy July 4th. I love it.
America.
So I have heard of this guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I feel like who is it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Ah, okay.
Ow! You're supposed to go that way.
No, we go that way. You're out of step.
You're out of step.
Ugh, it's no use. I can't feel my feet anyway.
You're telling me I've lost 4 toes already. I'd give my left arm for a good set of boots.
How does Washington think we'll ever win this war? It's been a long time since I've felt this hopeless.
Especially since our fault we lost Philadelphia. I don't know what to do.
Hey, someone new just showed up. Looky there.
Wow, that guy looks important. Like a god of war. I wonder if he's here to help us.
Ooh.
Today, Emileigh, I am going to be sharing the story of Baron von Steuben.
It's ringing bells. It's ringing bells.
I'll just go ahead and tell you so you're not kept in the dark. He is the one who came to Valley Forge to help kick us into gear during the Revolutionary War.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he was a gay man.
What?
Yes.
They don't teach that in history class.
They don't. I remember coming upon this fact years ago. I don't know in what context. I don't know how, but when we talked last time we recorded and you said, hey, your episode comes out on July 2nd. Do you think you can incorporate Pride in America's 250th? I was like, maybe.
Strangely, I can.
Baron von Steuben.
Cool.
All right, so he is considered one of the fathers of the current American military because of his influence on the Continental Army. He was born Friedrich Wilhelm August Heinrich Ferdinand Baron de Steuben.
Wow.
On September 17th, 1730 in Magdeburg, Prussia. His parents were Wilhelm von Steuben and Elizabeth von Jagdwoden. He apparently had 9 brothers and sisters, but only 2 lived to adulthood. 1 brother and 1 sister.
So there were 3 of them.
Yeah,
okay.
3 that survived
so
to adulthood.
sad.
I know. His family in Prussia, there were certain classes, like social classes. And his family was technically noble, but they were of... The way that things worked in Prussia, I was reading an article that talked about like how social classes worked in Prussia, and I was like, wow, this is really complicated. But like nobility had nothing to do with like wealth, which is interesting. So technically they were noble, but they were the class that they belonged to were called, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's spelled Junker.
Oh, okay.
And this is one class above the peasant class. So, like, just above poverty, basically, is the class that they were in.
So they're the middle class.
But really not even. They're, like, lower middle class. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was expected for members of the Junker class to serve in a military, hold offices. A lot of military officers actually were of this social class.
Okay.
Including, I'm just going to call him Steuben. Steuben's father... when Steuben was 14, helped direct Prussian engineers in the Siege of Prague in 1744. And he watched his father do all this and like hung out with his father while he was an active officer in the Prussian army, which was considered one of the best in the world.
Wow.
And that's really all I have on Steuben's young life. There really isn't anything known about his childhood. At one point, I couldn't even find really what year. It was a set of years when he was like an adolescent, when he was educated by Jesuits in Austria.
Oh, okay.
So he joined the Prussian army in 1747 at the age of 17. In 1756, he enlisted in the 7 Years' War in Europe. So Prussia and Britain were fighting against France, Austria, and Russia Steuben was a second lieutenant fighting in this war. He was wounded at the Battle of Prague, and Prussia actually did win this battle. They were 2-1 against Austria.
Wow.
Yeah. So against poor odds, Prussia ended up winning. In 1758, Steuben was an adjutant to General Johann von Meyer and was a principal staff officer in a special forces regiment, from what I could gather. So he was pretty accomplished in the Prussian military.
Yeah.
The following year, in 1759, he was promoted to first lieutenant and was wounded at the Battle of Kunersdorf. I couldn't find how he was wounded in either battle. Apparently not significantly, but enough to be notable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So on June 26, 1761, he was transferred to general headquarters under Frederick the Great, who was the king of Prussia, and he became a staff officer for a deputy quartermaster. And later that year, he was actually taken prisoner. I read about it. It was complicated, but Major General von Nobleman surrendered at Treptow, and he was freed. There was stuff with like Anne the Great died, and then her son became ruler, and then Frederick the Great's son, Prince Henry, was able to negotiate for the release, and Steuben actually knew Prince Henry. They were like hanging out, became friends, and he actually got close to like Frederick the Great through all of this. It's complicated.
Damn.
So after he was released in 1762, he was promoted a captain and became aide-de-camp to Frederick the Great, which continued to strengthen their relationship. And he was personally taught by the king on how to be a leader in the military. There's like this whole like training school that the king threw that Steuben was able to go to learn how to do things.
Cool.
And all in all, he served in the Prussian army for 17 years. So we flew through 17 years pretty quickly, fighting against Austria and Russia during the 7 Years' War, like I said. So in 1763, April of 1763, he was discharged. And from what was considered the most advanced and greatest army in the world. And there's a few things I saw. One was that because the war ended, Frederick had a surplus of officers that he no longer needed, so a lot were discharged. I have also seen that he was dismissed due to a quote-unquote vindictive rival. No one knows what happened, because Steuben didn't write about it. He just basically said, someone's out to ruin my life, with no details.
Oh.
I did see that there was some speculation it was because someone found out he was gay. But that doesn't really make sense because Frederick the Great was gay. So I'm not sure. No one really knows why he was discharged, especially because him and Frederick the Great were so close. So the leading theory is because there was just too many officers and he was just one of the bunch.
Right.
But he goes off, and later that year, Steuben meets Louis de Saint-Germain in Hamburg, who became the French Minister of War during the American Revolution. And so his association with Saint-Germain was important to like later things that would happen. And Steuben became the Grand Marshal to the Prince of Hohenzollern-Hechingen.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's somewhere in Germany. From 1764 to 1777. So for like 11 years, he served for Hohenzollern-Hechingen.
How old is this guy by now?
He's in his 30s. Like mid to late 30s, early 40s.
Damn.
Yeah.
When he gets to Holland.
Yeah, Hohenzollern-Hechingen.
Okay, so then he stays for another 11 years. So he's in his mid to late 40s.
Yes.
By the end of it. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And while serving for the prince, he was like an administrative director of his court. And while serving the prince, he earned the Star of the Order of Fidelity on May 26, 1769, and he was officially named a baron in 1771.
Cool.
So in 1775, as the American Revolution starting to begin, we're not going to review the American Revolution. We've done it already.
Y'all should know.
Get with the program here, okay?
Come on.
The prince runs out of money. So now Steuben doesn't have a job.
Shit.
I know.
Again, not again.
I know. So he starts going, I mean, he's a commissioned officer. So I guess this is a practice where like commissioned officers would like go to other militaries and be like, hey, you need an officer in your military, in your army or whatever. But at this time, the 7 Years' War was over. So Europe was generally at peace. No, like there were no warring countries against each other. So they're like, sorry. He went to the British, the French, and the Austrians, but no one had any positions available to him as a commissioned officer.
Wow.
And I guess like when the British, they were like, we don't need, this was still like pretty early on, like before.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to squash the hell out of those Americans.
We don't need anyone
We don't
extra.
need you. Yeah.
So, but through his contact with Saint Germain hears that he's having trouble finding a job. And he's like, hey, let me introduce you to some guys, Silas Deane and Benjamin Franklin, who are American ambassadors to France. So he meets with them and he's like, hey, can you guys give me a job? And they're like, okay, we would love to have you, but there's some issues. One, we have so many foreign officers trying to join the Continental Army. We literally don't have room for you. Also, we can't afford to pay you. And if we place you at a high rank, then you're going to boss our soldiers around and they're going to get mad and leave.
Right.
So if you want to join our American forces, we'd love to have you, but you have to volunteer.
Okay.
And Steuben was like, not a great deal for me because I need a job to pay to live.
Right, I need to get paid.
So he leaves and he tries to get a job with the German army. But apparently, and there was some kind of, and I don't know if this was the same person from before who had sent in a rival, I don't know. But there are some speculation that there's an anonymous person who sent in a letter saying Steuben had, quote, taken liberties with young boys in his previous job. Now, there's no evidence of this. There's no evidence that he preyed on young boys. He said this is absolutely not true, but his reputation was destroyed, whether it was true or not. So he's like, well, damn, I guess I'll go to America.
Shit.
So yeah. So he's 47 when he goes over to the Americas. With him, he has a little entourage. His military secretary, Pierre-Etienne Duponceau, his aide-de-camp, Louis de Pontier, and I've seen either an Italian greyhound or a wolfhound, Azor.
What a great name.
I know. His doggy. So they arrive at Portsmouth, New Hampshire on December 1st, 1777. And he pretty quickly after that goes to Boston. He meets with some members of the Continental Congress. He meets with John Hancock and Samuel Adams. They treat him they treat him nice. They treat him fancy. They're like, hey, here's some wine, here's some food. Tell me all about your plans.
Right.
And so then he goes to meet the Continental Congress, which is in York, because Philadelphia had been captured by the British at this time. And he has a letter from Benjamin Franklin, who's it's like a reference letter, basically, where Benjamin Franklin's like, this guy's
recommendation.
Yes, exactly. He's legit. You should definitely hire him. There's a little complication with this letter, though. So I've seen, he in this letter, he was introduced as a lieutenant general.
Okay.
But he was actually just a captain.
Oh.
And I've seen two reasons why. I saw one source that said that it was due to a mistranslation. Because in French, his position was described as, in French, lieutenant general, when it was supposed to just be captain. It was just the way that it was described in French. But it's not the equivalent rank. And I've also seen that Franklin and Deane decided to kind of play up his rank and his qualifications to increase his chances of getting into the Continental Army.
Okay.
I don't know. But
Either way,
the Continental Congress was like, okay, like, you're legit. They came to an agreement that Congress would pay him after the war based on his contributions to the war effort.
okay.
So he was sent out to join General Washington at Valley Forge, and he arrived on February 23rd, 1778. And apparently he was very impressive to the soldiers stationed there. One private who was 16 years old named Ashbel Green described Steuben as, quote, the perfect personification of Mars, who's the god of war. He was like there's more description that Green gave, but it was like with his billowing cape and his horse with all the medals on it. He was like a god of war.
Yeah.
And I did see in one source, because, again, Steuben is a gay man. I've seen that he didn't hide this fact that he was gay. I've seen that Benjamin Franklin downplayed this aspect because, 1700s of it all. But it's speculated that George Washington was like, I don't care. I need someone to help me anyway. I don't care who it is.
He's like, who gives a shit? Are you good at war?
Right.
Like...
And I'm about to talk about how bad it was at Valley Forge, because it was bad. So between 1777 and 1778, the winter between those 2 years,
yes.
Washington led his Continental Army 20 miles outside Philadelphia after the Battle of Philadelphia. Did I write that down? Oh, the Battle of Brandywine in 1777.
Okay.
Which led to the British capturing Philadelphia. So this was a major loss to the Continental Army. At Valley Forge, this place 20 miles outside Philadelphia, there were about 10,000 men stationed here, and it was dismal. Many of the men did not have sufficient clothing. At least a third didn't have shoes. Many didn't have appropriate coats for the rain. They didn't have adequate food stores. Apparently, they had 25 barrels of flour and a bit of salt pork to feed 10,000 men.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was rough. And it's estimated about 3,000 men died from illness, starvation, exposure.
Ugh.
Awful. Just the whole place was just a wreck. Like, Washington had ordered the men to build these wooden huts that were like 12 by 12, and he was like, find straw out in the wilderness to try to keep warm, because they literally didn't have enough blankets to go around. Oh, shit is rough. Not for lack of Washington trying. Like, he wrote to Congress like every single day, like, I need more supplies. I need food. I need blankets. I need ammunition. I need muskets. I need boots. I need horses. Like, I need everything. And there was like, I saw that there is this like conspiracy against Washington from this group known as the Conway Cabal. These three guys that like didn't like Washington, that were like on the Congress like wartime committee or whatever, that were in charge of like handing out resources, and they were like, you're incompetent and you want to be a dictator, so we're not going to get you anything, and you're like embezzling or whatever. And finally, like, some dudes from the Congress had to come out, and Washington was like, see, I'm not embezzling anything. My guys don't have anything. And so he was able to like prove his worth, of course. Yeah. But it was really rough for a few months. And he did finally get assistance from General Henry Knox, Nathaniel Greene, Anthony Wayne, the Marquis de Lafayette, and Baron von Steuben.
All right.
So Steuben comes to Valley Forge, and he's like, man, this place is bleak. It is terrible. The state of the army just itself was abysmal. Cold, almost no food. I mean,
how do you expect these men to fight?
Right. They're shells of themselves at this point. They don't even have working guns. There's a lot of guys who are MIA. Very short. And we talked about this when we did the crossing of the Delaware, but enlistments were very short because they were just trying to get whoever they could. And so, I mean, there was constant turnover because guys would like show up for a couple months and then leave.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, so you have all these different regiments from all the different colonies And they all, like all these different militias, have their own different training regiment. So now that they're all together, they're conflicting, they're not unified. They all have their own thing going on. And they were also skittish as hell. Like, anytime there was any kind of like really scary conflict, they would try to run away, which was very frustrating to Washington, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Right.
More ways that the camp at Valley Forge was just abysmal. There was no official latrine. So dudes just went wherever around the camp. There was no order to where tents or huts were. And if an animal was, skinned and carved to be eaten, they just left the carcass where it lay and just left it rotting.
Ew.
Yeah, it was really bad. And there was no, like, internal administration going on. So, like, there was no inventory. There was no idea of, like, what was needed, how much was needed. It was a mess. And the men apparently, because they had muskets with bayonets, they were using their bayonets for, like, skewers, like rotisseries, for tools. So Steuben walks in, and he's like, I imagine the meme, it's from Community, but it's the guy who, Childish Gambino, walks in with, like, a pizza, and then, like, the whole room that he walks into is on fire.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yes.
That's a great episode, by the way. It's, like, the best episode of that show. But that's what I imagine he walks in, and he's like, oh my God, I just went from one of the greatest armies in the world to this.
Yeah, whatever this is.
Whatever
this is. Oh my God.
So he immediately steps into action. He starts implementing order to where the tents go. So, like, all the officers are right here. All of the commanders are right here. All of the enlisted men are over here. Order to the camp.
Yeah.
He has, kitchens are over here. Latrines, opposite side of camp and downhill, because we don't want food touching the poop. He implements record keeping and inspections for gear and materials. There's one quote that said his inspection saved the army an estimated loss of 5,000 to 8,000 muskets.
Wow. So
he's immediately starting to set things up. And he taught the men how to, I'll get into it later, but he taught the men, like, your bayonets are not for, like, cleaning out your teeth. They're lethal weapons. Here's how to use it.
Jesus.
So after 2 weeks of being there, being at Valley Forge, Washington is incredibly impressed with Steuben and names him the temporary inspector general.
Okay.
And despite, like, everything going on with the Continental Army, he was very impressed with what he saw. The NPS website says, quote, what he found was an army short of everything except spirit. And in his own journal, he said, quote, no European army could have held together in such circumstances.
And I'm proud to be American.
So, yes, he sees the grit and the determination of these men. So he's like, let's get some standardization in here. So he immediately...
They needed leadership.
Yes.
They needed reason. They needed organization.
Yes.
And they got it in their soul.
Yes.
They just needed gathering.
Yes. So he immediately gets to work setting up drills, not just for one regiment, but so the way that he did this is Washington had his own, like, personal guard and then, like, some other dudes, and he gathered, it was like 150 guys. And he was like, you guys are going to be my demonstrator. So I'm going to teach you guys the drills, the methods, everything. And you're going to go out and teach everyone else. Teach your own regiments. So all the officers were on the same page. Immediately started creating a standard method. Another kind of funny thing is he did not know any English at all.
Oh.
So his primary language is German, and he also spoke French. So his aides were French as well, and they could also translate into English. And there was a couple aides in Washington's camp who could also translate from French to English, like I think Alexander Hamilton and John Lawrence were big helpers with Steuben and Steuben's aide Duponceau. And another guy named Benjamin Walker also helped. So as he was creating these drills, he would write everything down in French. And then his directions would be translated into English by Duponceau, John Lawrence, and Alexander Hamilton. And so then the brigade inspectors would then take these out to the different regiments and implement the lessons and the directives and give like packets to each regiment and company. Okay. So it's a very quick way for the information to be spread, and it was very efficient.
Yeah. So
he knew he didn't have a lot of time. So he was up every single night into the early hours writing new like lesson plans for the army. And he was like, okay, I can't use like really complicated things. So I had to keep things really simple and efficient so they can be learned quickly and implemented quickly.
Right.
So he was really good at simplifying the lessons to keep things precise and uniform. And the NPS website says, quote, "In this way, uniform maneuvers and discipline was given to the army in a very rapid and orderly fashion."
Wow.
Another funny part of Steuben's leadership was that he, I guess, had a temper, because he would have fits where he would cuss everyone out. But he only spoke German and French, so he would cuss everyone out in German and French. And then he would call either Captain Benjamin Walker over to like translate his swears into English. Or he would say, quote, "My dear Duponceau, come and swear for me in English. These fellows won't do what I bid them." And through this, he quickly learned other swear words in English. And honestly, this cracked the soldiers up. They were having a laugh. And this helped improve morale. Because they're like, look at this funny guy cussing at us and screaming at us in German and French.
And then making someone translate it.
What he's saying to them in English. And I'm just imagining like Walker coming over and saying, you mud-sucking lily-livered.
Oh, you lily-livered, oh my god, I'm
yellow-bellied, so think of it. Lily-livered mud-sucking carp, right?
That's not, it's close. No, I'll think of it later.
Okay, but I'm imagining this tirade is going on and he's angrily shouting, and then he calls over his aide and he says, translate this, and he's just standing there calmly while then the translator then just calmly interprets this in English, and then he starts his tirade. Like, I'm just imagining like a sitcom going on in my head.
It's giving sitcom.
Yes. But again, like, he was so impressed with how quickly the Americans were catching on to things. And he wrote this in a letter to a friend. Quote, "The genius of this nation is not in the least to be compared with that of the Prussian, Austrians, or French. You say to your soldier, do this, and he doeth it. But I am obliged to say to the American soldier, this is the reason why you ought to do that. And then he does it."
Wow.
So Steuben continues with his drills and his lessons, and he actually makes a handbook of military drills and officers' responsibilities to create standardization and more efficient firing weapons with the muskets, etc.
I'm going to pause.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause you. He would say, "Avasky scurvy dog, you livered lily, chicken lip, mud-sucking carp."
Okay, thank you.
So you can plug that in later.
Okay,
so he made like a book, like a playbook of...
a handbook that went to all the different officers.
That's awesome.
But he was also down to party.
You work hard, you play hard.
He was not all business. So his aide, Pierre Etienne, said he threw some wild parties, as, for example, one where the invitees were not allowed to wear pants.
A no pants party?
Yes. So they showed up wearing either little or no clothing.
Oh no, it's like Ma Rainey's
Yes.
party.
Yes. Frequently hosted dinner parties with his troops. And there was one story where the guests, like, combined their rations together. So Steuben's manservant could cook them a meal of beefsteak and potatoes with hickory nuts.
Oh.
So they had a great time. And he became close to these two men. I've mentioned Benjamin Walker already, and another man named William North, and they were two aides de camp. I've seen that North and Walker were in their own romantic relationship together.
Okay.
And Steuben may have also become involved with North as well.
Okay.
It's not clear. It seemed like Walker and Steuben were close, but it's not clear what the extent of their relationship was, if it was romantic or not.
Okay.
And I also saw, like, and I'll get into it a little bit later, but, like, romantic relationships between men were not the most unusual. And I've also seen that Alexander Hamilton and John Lawrence were in a romantic relationship together. Mm-hmm. The issue was when it turned sexual. Right. But if two men were romantic with each other, that was not seen as something that was super taboo.
Okay.
So, party's over. He's whipping these guys into shape. In 2 months.
All that in 2 months?
2 months.
Jeez.
There's an author named Larry Fierro who said the Continental Army, quote, went from a ragtag collection of militias to a professional force.
It took me longer to get my scuba certification than it did for him to whip up thousands of men into shape.
10,000 men into...
That's so impressive.
Like an actual fighting army.
Jeez.
On May 6, 1778, the French officially ally with the Americans.
Okay.
To fight the British. To celebrate, Washington called for a big ceremonial review of the Continental Army to show off its new skills to members of Congress and other higher-ups in the Continental Army. And everyone was like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. They were marching in step. They were organized by rank. They did a gun salute, and it was perfect.
Damn.
It was so impressive. And when he joined Valley Forge, Washington had named him as temporary inspector general. Because, again, wanted to see what he could do. After this display, he got an official commission as inspector general and was granted the rank of major general. Wow. Which is way higher than he got in the Prussian army.
Yeah.
He skyrocketed the ranks. So shortly after this, winter's over. Mm-hmm. They move out of Valley Forge. And the Continental Army ends up fighting the British at the Battle of Monmouth. So I'm going to briefly discuss this battle because it's because of Steuben's influence that it turned out this way. Okay. So in June of 1778, Washington and one of his generals, Charles Lee, attacked General Henry Clinton's rear guard in Monmouth, New Jersey. They were outnumbered 2-1. And Lee initially led the attack, but he, chickened out. I don't know. It's complicated. But his force starts fleeing as General Cornwallis is closing in on them. Okay. Washington sees... he comes up to the battlefield, he sees all of Lee's men leaving, he's pissed off, goes up to Lee, and in the middle of the battlefield dismisses him.
Damn.
Yeah. So he's continuing to organize his men to fight the British, and Generals Nathaniel Greene and William Alexander come to support. In the field, Lee's men were handed off to the Marquis de Lafayette and General Mad Anthony Wayne. And they, keep up the battle. And the Americans and the British at the Battle of Monmouth go back and forth for hours until they're both so exhausted they just stop.
Damn.
So it's a stalemate. It's a draw. No one wins, but no one loses. And it's very highly, considered that the skill that Steuben gave this army prevented it from being a massive defeat. Because again, they were outnumbered 2-1. And went in a head-to-head match against the British.
That's crazy.
And it was a stalemate. It could have been a lot worse.
Wow.
And these are men who are just coming out of Valley Forge. You know what I mean? Like, it's a few months out of Valley Forge. And they're able to do this.
That's incredible.
So that winter, between 1778 and 1779, Steuben takes a quick sabbatical something, goes to Philadelphia to write a regulations manual. So he was writing it in French, and he received assistance from Lieutenant Colonel Francois de Fleury, his secretary Duponceau, and Captain Benjamin Walker to translate it into English. And it was illustrated by Captain Pierre Charles Lafont, who would later go on to design Washington, D.C., which is pretty cool. And the manual was titled Regulation for the Order and Discipline of the Troops of the United States. It was approved by Congress and was used by the U.S. Army until 1814.
I'm sorry, what?
So for like the next 40 years or so.
Wow.
And his techniques would still be used up until the Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah. Until, I guess, like, warfare just changed completely.
Right. Right. We stopped lining up in a field and shooting at each other.
With muskets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his manual is known as the Blue Book. And, like, I guess that's just the shorthand. So if you say it's the Blue Book and it deals with the Army, you know it's...
Not Project Blue Book, where they're looking for aliens?
No, not Project Blue Book. Okay. Unless Steuben was buying that too. I don't know.
Who knows?
So after he finishes writing this manual, he rejoins the Army in April, and he served through the end of the war. He was an instructor and a supply officer for General Nathaniel Greene, and he actually commanded one of the divisions and was at the Battle of Yorktown in 1781.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my God.
So he stuck around, helped demobilize the army in 1783, and officially resigned from the Continental Army in 1784. And one of Washington's last acts before he stepped down as commanding general in 1783 was writing a personal letter to Steuben thanking him for his service. I know. So where would Washington be if Steuben didn't come save his ass?
Seriously, though. I mean, where would the United States be?
Right. So after the war ends, and he, is discharged, he's honorably discharged on March 24th, 1784. And earlier that month, he actually became an American citizen through Pennsylvania legislature. So they're like, Thank you for your service to our country. You are officially an American citizen. You know how earlier I said that Congress had made a deal with him that...
I was scared of this. I was so scared. This is not going to be good, is it?
Our government really does not like paying people. It really doesn't, especially our veterans.
No, still.
So... he was like, hey, Congress, where's my compensation for serving in your army and helping you win? And they're like, here's $2,400. Here's your pension. It was some of it, not everything he was owed. In addition, he got a gold hilt sword and an official thank you from Congress.
An official thank you. I'm sorry, hold on. 2,400
in 1784.
Today money. $78,360.
I think that's what he was given to like live off of. Like this one-time payment.
Yeah.
And I did also
Not a lot.
Right. And I also did see that he did kind of live above his means a little bit. So his friends were having to like give him money a lot. Yeah. But he was granted land in New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. And he did sell parts of the land that he was given, but it was never able to fully fund his quality of living style. So he was living in New York City. He had to leave New York City and live on his lands in more rural New York. I think he lived in like a log cabin. So going back to North, and Walker. Like I said, at the time, romantic relationships between men were more socially acceptable, but sodomy was illegal. So it's like, you guys could, you could love each other, but don't have sex. And the romantic side of things was more socially acceptable until the 1800s, and active discrimination against homosexuality in the U.S. military began in the 20th century. Mm-hmm. So it took time for people to be like, wow, this is like really bad. And for them to get active discrimination. So when he moved to New York, North and Walker went with him. Mm-hmm. And lived with him. Yes, both of them did.
Okay.
And North was quoted as writing, I got this from history.com, quote, "We love him and he deserves it, for he loves us tenderly." So it kind of sounds like there was like a throuple thing going on between them. Which, if they're happy, good for these guys, right?
Yeah.
So Steuben legally adopts both men after the war, which is common practice because same-sex marriage is not legal. And if he wants to give things to them and for them to inherit things, he has to legally adopt them. There's no incest things. It's just the workaround. So North and Walker are living with Steuben in New York. They help take care of his estate, help manage his finances, and Steuben also takes in a guy named John Mulligan, who's a son of Hercules Mulligan, who is, I think, one of the Sons of Liberty. And John Mulligan, was also gay.
Hercules Mulligan is
It is a great name. So John Mulligan was Steuben's secretary, and they may have also been in a relationship together. Steuben himself never married because he's not attracted to women. He can't marry a man. And he died on November 28th of 1794 at the age of 64, maybe from a stroke. I've only seen in one source what his possible cause of death was.
Okay.
On his 16,000 acre farm.
16,000 acres.
So I found a transcript of his will, and I do want to read it to you because there's an article I found just Googling. It's the 3 Wills of Baron von Steuben by Morgan H. Pritchett with Johns Hopkins University and Edith von Semensky from Morgan State College. So this is his third and final will, the Third Testament on February 12, 1794. I, Frederick William Baron de Steuben of the city and state of New York, do make this my last will and testament. Sufficient reasons having determined me to exclude my relations in Europe from any participation in my state in America, and to adopt my friends and former aide-de-camp, Benjamin Walker and William North, as my children, and make them sole devisees of all my estates therein, except as hereinafterwards is otherwise disposed of in consequence thereof. I bequeath to the said Benjamin Walker the sum of $3,000 and the gold-hilted sword given me by Congress. To the said William North, I bequeath my silver-hilted sword and the gold box given me by the city of New York. To John I. Mulligan, I bequeath the whole of my library, maps, and charts, and the sum of $2,500 to complete it. And to each of my servants living with me at the time of my decease, 1 year's wages, and besides this to my valet de chambre, all my wearing apparel. But I hereby declare that those legacies to my servants are on the following conditions. That on my decease they do not permit any person to touch my body, not even to change the shirt in which I shall die, but that they wrap me up in my old military cloak, and in 24 hours after my decease bury me in such a spot as I have before my decease point out to them, that they never acquaint any person with the place where I shall be buried.
So there, he said, don't change my clothes, wrap me in my military cloak, and bury me here.
Yes, and don't tell anyone. And lastly, I do give, devise, and bequeath all the rest and residue of my estate, real and personal, after the payment of my debts and the legacies aforesaid, to the said Benjamin Walker and William North, to hold to them their heirs, executors, and administrators share, and share alike hereby appointing the said Benjamin Walker and William North executors of this my last will and testament, and revoking all former wills by me heretofore, in New York, February 12th, 1794. Steuben.
So he straight up was like, I want nothing to do with my European roots. They're getting nothing.
Yep. Everything is going to North, Walker, and Mulligan.
And some to his
servants.
Staff.
His staff.
Well, that's interesting. Also, weird. He was like, "Don't touch my body.
Don't even change my shirt. Just wrap me up in my old coat and bury me in the ground."
Right here, and don't tell a soul.
They never acquaint any person with the place where I shall be buried. I love that.
Honestly, from now on, when I want you to keep a secret, I'm going to tell you to never acquaint this knowledge with any other person on Earth.
Never acquaint any person.
Never acquaint any person with the knowledge that I'm about to bestow upon you.
I was reading that and I was like, oh, like he left everything
so sweet
to them. That's so sweet.
Literally. And it was very specific.
Yes.
And he was like, the staff gets this. For sure, Walker and North get this. Mulligan gets this. And whatever is left goes to North and Walker. Like, very, like, they get it all.
Yeah. And that really makes me think, like, it wasn't just they were his secretaries, you know, like.
Right.
And there's a lot of historical evidence to say that they were more than just, like, his employees, that they had a special relationship with each other, which I think is just really sweet.
He wouldn't have adopted them.
Yeah.
Where'd this Mulligan guy come from? I mean, so random.
He sneaks in at the very end. It's like, I'll be your secretary. And it wouldn't surprise me if he had made his acquaintance through Hercules, because... like, all those guys all knew each other that, like, fought in the Revolution, I feel.
Yeah.
So maybe John Mulligan, like, showed up to a battle one day and was like, hey, Hercules is my dad. Can I help fight? I don't know. I didn't look too far into John Mulligan.
Could you imagine if he really just needed a job? He showed up and he was like, oh, everyone's gay in this house. Oh.
Sweet. I'm also gay. Yay.
I get the jackpot. Like, he just showed up legitimately needing a job, and it's just like it's all coming to him, and he's like, oh,
this house is great. Oh, I can be myself here.
Everyone's so kind here.
I know.
Oh my God. We need to tell these stories.
Yes. Oh, like, so many of the sources I read, so much, you guys. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 11. Did I count right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. I read 11 articles, and honestly, like, I had more, and I ran out of time, because there was a few I found that were, like, super detailed, and I was like, I don't have time. I don't have time to read it. I gotta record in, like, 45 minutes. Yeah. But a lot of the sources were like, so many people have forgotten about Baron von Steuben. And I mean, where would we be without him helping whip us into shape and start actually fighting back against the British?
Right. We were, I wouldn't say we were losing at that point.
It didn't look great.
We were quickly on the road to it had he not whipped us into shape.
Yeah.
Because an unorganized army is a losing army.
I mean, they had just lost Philadelphia. That was their seat of power. That was where the Continental Congress was.
Literally, where they signed the damn paperwork.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost it.
Yeah.
But we got it back.
We got it back. We got it back.
Yeah. What an incredible man.
I know.
Thank you for this.
You're welcome. I hope it was equal parts gay and patriotic.
I'm feeling both right now. Should we do socials?
Let's do socials.
Okay. You can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast group and page.
Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
illequippedhistory@gmail.com. I don't really think about that.
She looked off into space, guys.
I was trying to organize my thoughts. I was like, email ill-equipped.
You were the army pre-Baron. Yes.
Yes.
You needed him to whip you into shape.
I did. Oh.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/ill-equippedhistory. Please help us out. Help us out and donate if you feel so inclined. Sign up to our subscription for bonus episodes. Which our next one comes out tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah. So check that out. I was gonna say if you subscribe, maybe we can finally afford therapy to help our brains. Because we're struggling.
Struggle bussin'.
Struggle, but at least we're in the bus together. Where my daughter getting off the bus earlier crying,
sobbing her eyes out
because her friend woke her up.
Oh no! Now I got the hiccups.
No, okay, we gotta wrap this up. Be your authentic self and whip men into shape.
Kinky. And cuss at people in German, French, and English.
If you know multiple languages, cuss in multiple languages.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.